Hi everybody, I'm back. So there's a couple of things that I didn't do. I didn't listen to Phil. I listened to, well, I've got 45 minutes left to listen to Phil. So I've listened to some of it and I still have to finish it because it's over 2 hours. So it's hard to find that amount of time where you can actually just sit and concentrate and pay good attention. Anytime really, but especially for me right now with the puppy. The puppy doesn't give me like that amount of time to just be still, believe me. So I still have 45 minutes left to listen to Phil, so I don't know how it ends. I really am impressed that the basic gist of the live that he did the other day was talking about Derek Johnson and the info that Derek is bringing forth, that undeniable truths that you cannot deny because it's laws and it's orders. And like I said, I don't know how I found Derek. The universe just kind of put him on my news feed on YouTube. Somebody had put his stuff up. It wasn't Derek that put it up, but somebody had put his stuff up and it ran on my news feed. And I was triggered to open it and look at it. I can't remember what the title was or anything like that, but I was triggered to open it and pay attention. So I listened to him that day and I was like, I think I told you folks, this guy is the answer to my prayers, because so many people that we know that we're trying to give the information to help them on their journey of awakening, we're feeling, really disheartened and not really believing, how could this really be happening? It doesn't look like it's really happening. And, there's only so much that my boyfriend and I can say to somebody. You either have that knowing or that belief or you don't. And so we were like, we really need something that we can give them that's solid, not just a truther saying it is so, not just, not just faith, but something. And with Derek, you get that something. So what I really like about Phil doing that is that Phil has a lot of followers. And this is all, it's undeniable because it's laws and it's orders. And like I said, he even gives you the links. So if you haven't found Rattletrap 1776 on Telegram, Derek Johnson, if you haven't found him yet, I really highly recommend it. But if you haven't, and you do listen to Phil, go over and listen to Phil explain it all, because he explains all that Derek is putting out there. So I thought that was great. I haven't listened to the whole thing. It's close to 3 hours. I think it's like 2.5 hours or something like that. So I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I'm going to. I think it's good, and I want to listen to it. So yeah, anyway, there's that. So I haven't listened to all of that, and I haven't listened to the Jason Shirka stuff, but my cousin told me that with Jason Shirka, I can't even remember everything that she said he was talking about. But one of the things that she said he was kind of talking with people about was learning how to be more self-sustaining. And, they removed us from that. They did that. That was deliberate, right? You guys know that, right? It was very deliberate that they removed us from our food supply. Years ago, because I've always, I'm a country bumpkin. So, laying hens, I had laying hens forever. I don't now, because I just don't. I had decided I was just going to take a break from that for a while. But yeah, over the years, I've raised ducks, I've raised turkeys, I've had meat birds and laying hens and goats, and I've milked, and I grew up with my parents always had a cow, and we always had chickens, and we raised pigs, and always fresh vegetables, and raised our own gardens. My mother was big on foraging, so she would take us all out She knew all the hot spots. We'd go raking blueberries. We'd go picking apples. My dad was a hunter, you know. That's how I grew up, country bumpkin. But they started making it harder for the backyard farmers to do things. Grains, the price of grains and things started going up, and and then they started putting a hammer down and taking those rights away from people to be able to do those things. Trying really hard to take those rights away from people. We've seen that. That's we could do a whole other show on that. We don't need to, because we already know what they're up to. But so I think that she said that he was talking about people learning how to be more self-sustaining. And I think that would be good for everybody to learn how to be more self-sustaining. Let me tell you, the food that you grow in your own garden tastes a lot better than anything you're going to get off the shelf. They literally suit themselves up in hazmat stuff to go harvest the food that they then put on the shelves for you to eat. You know, and talk about cruelty and things just not being humane the way they do with these massive farms, how they treat the pigs and the chickens and the cattle and even the egg industry. They have these poor little birds in little cages. Like, that is not a life, and they all have souls. I don't care what anybody says. All life has a soul. So, I mean, it's disgusting. And when you start to raise your own food and see the difference in the taste, and there's just a feeling that you get around that. There's just a feeling that feels like you've done something really loving for your family and yourself when you've raised your own food. So yeah, I highly recommend people start getting back in touch with their food. You ask kids today, a lot of kids, where does a pork chop come from? They don't know. They don't know it comes from a pig. They don't know. Years ago, here's a funny story. Years ago, one of my friends had a basket of eggs on her counter that she was going to wash. Her grandmother had sent her home with a bunch of eggs. And one of the teenagers, one of her kids' teenage friends came over, and she said, my friend hadn't washed the eggs yet. And the teenage girl said to her, "What's on the eggs?" And my friend said, "It's shit." That's what she said. And the girl goes, "Who shit on the eggs?" So see, people are really far removed from their food. Oh my goodness. So anyways, I guess that's one of the things that Jason was talking about learning how to be more self-sustaining. So I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to go over and watch it and take a listen, see what he says. But I'm not going to do a reading on either one of those things because, listen, we talked about this the other day on my last reading, that we've seen shortages before, and we'll probably see them again. Let's just be honest with each other here, not fear porning it up, but just plain straight up honesty. If we're taking down a system that's corrupted and they've got their fingers dipped in the food supply, and the food chain is huge. I mean, it's huge. And that's why they wanted to remove us from our food, by the way, so that they had control of the food that we had access to. So then what do you suppose will happen to some of those places? And we know about the fires that's been going on in the warehouses and stuff. And we even had one in our area. One of the plants that we have in my neighborhood, not my neighborhood, but in my few towns away, because I'm country in that city. I'm on the outskirts, right? But yeah, basically my neighborhood, I mean, we go there daily, was a food packing plant that had been around forever, and you might hear my puppy. And it burned. So a lot of these places are burning, and I've kind of thought, honestly, that that's like a good agenda. I've wondered if that's putting an end to some of the ickiness that's getting put into the food. So I'm going to do a reading on that. We're going to do a few questions today, I think. So that's the first question. Are these food plants that have been the meat plants and the other stuff. Like in my area, it was a potato factory. Have they been taken out by the good guys? Has that been a good guy operation to get the poisons and the food and stuff out of our food chain? Just keeping an eye on my pooch. They're like toddlers, right? Gotta have your eyes on them all the time. Yes, you guys. Yes. So these fires that were happening, in these plants they were taken out because they were icky, bad for us. Okay? What's driving the whole reading is the dark agenda. It's a very dark agenda. It's been being put forward for a long time. So it's been being put forward for a long time. They had to finish it off. So that's what's driving the entire reading. And then, the question is, was it put forward by the good guys? You bet your butt it was. You bet your butt. It's the Page of Swords, right? So the good guys and the universe both knew it was time to clean this stuff up. So that would be why. And I'm not just saying that all of them were like really, really nefarious. The things that we've heard sometimes they bring into those plants to then put into those foods or dispose of things. I'm not saying that it was all that like that. But it was definitely stuff that's not good for us. Not good for us. And it's been around for a long time. So yes, swords. They knew about it and they knew they had to gift us. They were giving us a gift by removing this out of the food chain, right? These guys had been putting a lot of work into that. It was probably getting worse and worse with every decade. They were figuring out new ways to get icky stuff in there. And they're really disappointed. They went through some big disappointments when the good guys started taking out all of their bad stuff and gifting us something better. So I had felt that in my heart. I really had. People were saying, oh, they're trying to starve us out. And I thought to myself, these are all places that I'm just curious. I think they might be, I think it might be a white hat operation, getting rid of the ickiness. I always just kind of felt that in my gut and my heart. So yeah, those plants were feeding us icky stuff. So we should be grateful for that, right? Now, as far as shortages and stuff go, I don't think it's going to be so bad that anybody's going to starve out. But I do think it might be, like we've seen before, shortages in certain areas. So, you might have to learn how to cook a little different, or, you may not get what it is that you're used to getting. That's how it's always felt in my heart. It hasn't felt like it was going to be something terrible, like what a lot of people will say, fear porn. It's out there everywhere. So as we move into 2023, I'm going to ask the universe, now that we've discovered that, yes, those fires that we saw taking place over the course of the last year were getting rid of the icky stuff. I'm going to ask the universe, our guides, our source energy, our highest version of selves, that which loves us and has our highest and greatest good for intentions only and always, to clarify on whether we're going to see massive food shortages in 2023. I don't think we are. It's never felt that way to me. I don't feel like people are going to starve out. I don't. I think you might see some things, but you'll be able to survive it. We survived 2020 when literally shelves were bare, but we figured out a way. Sometimes you just need to be smart and figure things out, right? It's good to use that brain that God gave us. So yeah, let's see. Are we going to see massive food shortages as we move forward in 2023? We're going to see some food shortages. Just like I was saying, we might see some. Yeah, so we're going to see some. So some things aren't going to, we're going to see some things that won't be as readily available. Some things. You know, and I've thought for a while we may be going back to a way where whatever is like, you know, we may not be getting stuff shipped in from Mexico, and you know, so, and things like that. We may go back to eating more what we have in our own areas. Like we may not be getting these big shipments in. So yeah, with the high priestess, yes, you're going to see some shortages, but you know, she's an answer to this question, okay? So remember, we have to look at her differently. So so you see, you've got the light pillar and you've got the dark pillar, right? So that tells me, as I say, will there be massive shortages in 2023 as we move forward for our food chain and our food supplies? It's not gonna be what it once was. So certain areas are gonna see shortages in certain things, and certain areas are gonna see shortages in other things. There's gonna be imbalances all over the place. But we're gonna move forward. We've got 2 higher arcana cards here. We're moving forward just fine. Just fine. We're just gonna have to learn to live without a few things. Like I grew up in the 70s. Oranges were like gold. We didn't have them. That was a big treat if you get an orange, you know? So that may be kind of the stuff that we're seeing now. Like we may find that we have to be more reliant on what we have in our own areas for food, but we're going to move forward just fine. The imbalances aren't going to be huge, right? We didn't get the Tower card. We didn't get things that are going to show us like mass destruction or terrible, you know, a terrible way of things. It's just going to be a little different. We're going to have to live with that. Just deal with it. It's not that big a deal. We shouldn't be so attached to eating that it makes a big deal, that it makes a huge difference to us if we can't get this thing or that thing anyways. There's some emotional work I think all of us Americans especially have to do around food. Honestly, you know, like if we can't have an orange, there's other ways to get vitamin C. And yes, oranges are yummy, but it's not the most important thing in the world. We can adjust our diets, right? We're going to move forward just fine. We'll be just fine, you guys. But there will be some imbalances as to what we're used to. Because we're used to going into a grocery store right now and we have food from all over the world. It's not a big deal. We've got it, right? But should we? Should we be getting food in from all over like that? Or should we start looking at how to be more self-sustaining in our own communities, in our own states? And, you know, that costs a lot of money trucking all that stuff in. How can we, you know, start creating an easier, better way of life? You pay for those things, right? So, but we're going to be all right, you guys. You know, people are worrying. Across from that, people are worrying. There's all this fear porn going on out there. Always is, right? But we're going to be looking out at a whole new world. It's not as big of a deal as we are making it into being, or as they are making it into being. With this card, you're worrying, like, you know, 80% of this is like, it's made up worries. It's stuff to not worry about. Like 80% of this is just dreamt up worries that keep you in a low vibration. So we're worrying about it, but we're going to be creating a new world, and it's going to be fine. We're creating something better, you guys. Remember that we are creating something better. So what's driving this entire reading is, we're looking at this, right? And we do need to remember there are a lot of people out there that don't have already. It's people in my area. It's so sad. It's so sad. There are already people out there that don't have. And that's the energy that's driving this. So rather than worrying about all of this stuff, okay, that they're trying to get us afraid of, maybe it's time for us to start taking a harder look at our own community and really take a look. This is hyper focusing on the journey, right? This is driving the whole reading, you guys. Compassion, 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 right? So, these guys are without. They are without. And there's systems that have, but these guys would rather go without than have to bow down to these systems. I don't blame them, right? So then, it's time for us to hyper focus around our own area. Really look at the journey and start doing more for the people that don't have in our area. Okay? So it's going to be, we're going to be encouraged to be more helpful. And we should be. We should be helping each other. We should be. So that's what's driving the reading. There are already people without. The people that are worrying that they're not going to have anything, it's mostly made up worries. We're going to be whoops, I'm dropping stuff. We're going to be creating a new world, you guys. It's going to be like really creating something new. So it's time for us to look in our, to look at our own area really, and to really look around us and start creating something to be more helpful, and sharing and caring, and really helping everybody up so that no one is totally not without while other people have tons. And that's not, that isn't socialism. I'm not a socialist. I don't agree with that at all. But I do agree with helping people. And I do agree with creating means to give people help without, having them have to bow down and do things that they may not want to have to do. Like, let's say the people that need to spend the night in a homeless shelter, are they able to do that, or are they being forced to get? Because there's a lot going on in these systems that people they'd rather walk right on by than go in and get warm. So that tells us something, really. We need to really look at that. So yeah, start hyper-focusing on our own areas and see what we can do to help the people around us. Yeah, we're going to see some shortages of this or that or this or that or the other, but it's not going to be a big deal. We're going to move forward just fine, you guys. All right? So that's the food shortage reading. The plants, yes, they were bad. They had to be taken out by the good guys. We're going to see some shortages. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And, it's really time for us to start looking in our own neighborhood and helping those in our own neighborhood. And get out of that fear, because half of what we're worrying about that they're telling people about out there, it's nothing. It's just made up to keep our vibrations low, right? So now I want to take a look at technology as we move into 2023, okay? So we've talked about the food supply being icky. They're trying to get rid of some of that. I believe there's been a lot of cleanup with the food supply over the last couple of years. And I don't know how long it's going to take for that to all get done. But I do believe that the food supply isn't always going to be what it has been, right? That's obvious. They're working to clean that up. And so now, and we know that, yeah, we're going to see some shortages of this or that, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. and that really it would be good to get back in touch with our food anyways and start trying to help people in our own area and not, you know, and not wait for a system to take care of people, right? Open our hearts and maybe come together, you know, town meetings or whatever, and try to figure something out for people that are in need. We do that a lot in this area anyways. We kind of, you know, like the churches around the area, they're always gathering food for people. There's food drives. I have a friend that just does an amazing amount of work as far as providing lunches for the kids, and like, so I think we're going to see more of that type of stuff happen. And I'm not saying all churches are good, but certainly not all churches are bad either. And a lot of good people go to churches. Okay? So just putting that out there. So now I want to take a look at the technology. Are we going to see cures and a better way of people getting healthy and regaining their health? Are we going to see that coming up in 2023? I want to know because, you know, there's a lot of, the medicines that they give are, they create a million side effects, right? Let me put a Band-Aid on this illness and create a million side effects so that Big Pharma can keep making money off of you. So I want to see, you know, are we going to start seeing more natural cures and more technologies come forward in 2023, what we've all been hoping for? Will we see that in 2023 so that our health improves? Everybody's health really improves in a way that is affordable to people, because there's a lot available out there right now, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And when somebody's like, they don't have that kind, not everybody has, you know, that much money at the end of their pay week after they've paid their bills. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So, affordable health procedures and technologies and natural medicines and cures for things that we know. There's a cure for everything. So we're going to start seeing that brought out to us in 2023. There's a lot of people suffering with health issues. All right, so let's take a look. Oh boy. Wow. You bet. Oh my gosh, you guys. We're going to see some stuff changing as far as the way we take care of our bodies and our health, the things that we put into it, and the technology that's used to help us get well, okay? That the whole system that we've been under is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Two ending cards right there. So, not working, picking up the sticks, moving on from the system that's been keeping us sick. It's a good ending. It's a wish fulfillment ending. So that whole system is ending, you guys. So across from that, we have the world. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 higher arcana cards in a 7-card spread. Okay? So we're going to see some massive change, okay? So the old system is ending. Across from that, we have the world. And above that, we have our yes. Yep. It's cosmic, it's karmic, it's time, it's universal, it's happening. New way to take care of ourselves. And that's going to be brought forth. What's driving this entire reading? We have strength, right? We have strength. So she's tapped in and she's using her, she's tapped in and she's using her All of the things that she would have considered her weaknesses, she's turned them into strengths, right? So when you're thinking of an illness, you're thinking of a weakness. So we're going to be taking these weaknesses, we're going to turn them into strengths. We're going to be healing them. We are going to be healing them. We have the Empress. We're not just going to be healing them. We're going to be healing them with, she is the great healer, right? We're going to be healing them with energy. She's also very connected to the earth. She has everything that she needs. So we're going to be healing them with herbs and a more natural way of doing things. So yeah, we're going to be healing. We're going to be getting that stuff. We're going to be getting the herbs. We're going to be getting the natural tinctures. We're going to have some more energy healing available, brought out to us more and more and more, okay? And we're going to be having things brought to us from a very enlightened group. So I believe that our brothers and sisters from other dimensions and other off-worlders are going to be bringing us technologies and things that's going to help us become a healthier society. You guys, that's amazing. So yeah, that old system's ending, and it's saying in 2023, we're bringing it on. We're bringing it on. We're bringing on energy, and we're bringing on natural ways of curing ourselves. Now, we know that the bad guys, they create all of these things to make us sick, and then they give us treatments that keep us sick. Do you think for 1 second that they aren't using things to protect them from the things they're dumping on us? So I think that's going to come out too. So we have a lot of new stuff coming out that is going to help us. Okay, you guys? So that's really good to know. That's our technology. So what am I in? I'm in 32 minutes. 32 minutes. All right, so now I'm going to end out. It's going to be a little bit longer, but it's New Year's. It's New Year's, so it's New Year's. It's New Year's Eve. It's early in the morning here. It's not early in the morning, but it's only like 10 o'clock here. We'll see how long this takes to go up. I hope it goes up quicker than the last one. The last one I did early in the morning. It was early. It was like 7. And I don't think it went up my time until like really late in the afternoon, like 5-ish, 6-ish, something like that. So I'm projecting that this one goes up faster than that. But now I'm just going to ask the universe to just give us some insight and some clarity. I want to see what they want to say about 2023. Just going to do a really quick 7-card pull, right? What do you want to leave us with for information about 2023? We got some cups. Wow. So, all right, you guys, this is interesting. So this is just a little bit of tidbit information that we're being left with from the universe to give us some insight, glean some insight into 2023. So the first card up representing 2023 is that we've decided that we're walking away from this stuff back here. Now, if you look, this is cups, okay? So this is some people would look at this and they would think this is it's a sad card. He's walking away from all of this stuff. It's not so. This is stuff back here that he's decided that he just doesn't want to bother with it anymore. He's grown. He's outgrown this stuff, right? He's found his passion. That's why he's dressed in red. And he's decided to just leave all that stuff in the dust and move on to something new and better. He's searching for something new and better. 2023 is going to be about searching for new and better things. And then above that, we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is also, she's very healing. She's psychic. She's psychic. And she uses the energy that she pulls down through her to manifest her best life. So she pulls in her feelings She focuses on this cup, and whatever it is that she's focused on, she manifests. So with 2023, we're walking away from this old stuff that we've outgrown. We're seeking a new and better way of doing things, and we're going to get more in touch with our own natural powers, our own natural abilities, and we're going to be manifesting a much better world, you guys. Okay? So across from walking away from that, right directly across from that, we have the Page of Cups. Okay? So we have the Page of Cups. What's 2023 going to be about? Still, it's going to be about saving the children. It's going to be another year about saving the kids. So, you know, how long does it take to clean these things up? We're going to be saving and searching and saving and for a long time to come, I think. You know, this isn't just an overnight wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and now everything's great again. So this is going to be ongoing in 2023. We're going to see that ongoing. We're still going to be seeing the battle between the light and the dark. The spiritual war is not over yet. We're not going to see that come to a halt in 2023. It's not over yet. It's ongoing. Okay, you guys? So we still have work to do. We still have work to do. We still have to keep our vibrations up. We still need to throw that healing into the earth. We need to throw that healing outward to everybody. We need to project good things. We need to make our voices heard. We need to join those groups and, you know, sign those petitions. Whatever it is that we need to do, we need to get out there and we need to do our part, right? Stay in that love vibration always, always, always. So what's driving this entire reading, we got the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, what's driving the entire reading, this is for 2023. A lot of deals are still going to go down and be made. Lots of deals still being made here in the background, right? Big tower moments are coming. Big tower moments. We're going to see a huge shift. A lot of exposure, I'm thinking, is going to happen in 2023. And then above that, we have like a marriage card. So this is a celebration. It's a small victory. It's like a marriage. So we're going to start seeing the truth, I think, about the white hats. We're going to start seeing the work. They're going to bring it out. People are going to start knowing that there's been people working their butts off to help shift things and clean things up. So we're going to see celebrations. And I think we're going to start celebrating publicly these people that have laid their lives on the lines and put themselves in terrible situations so they can help humanity, right? So that's what it's telling us right now about 2023. Now, I'm just going to ask, I want to know, and the Tower card is right there, so I just want to ask off the Tower card, are we really going to see some tribunals happening in 2023? Will we be seeing tribunals happening publicly for people to understand what's really going on, everyone? In the year of 2023, will we be seeing some tribunals? I'm just going to ask off that Tower card because that's a big shift. That would be a big shift, right? So that's the perfect card to ask that question on. Yeah, we're not only going to see the tribunals, you guys, but they're going to make it known that a lot of people have been, I got to be careful with my words. This is a cross and over card, okay? I asked, are we going to see tribunals? Are we going to see tribunals? Yeah. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, right? And then we've got the Moon card. So you bet we're going to see some powerful people go through the tribunals and be crossed over in 2023. Okay? So I'm pretty far in. That's 39 minutes in, and the longer they are, the longer it takes to upload them. So there we go. We've got a few things to look at. I checked into 2023 a little bit the other day. I can't really even remember what we got in that reading. But I think it was good stuff. And now I've looked into 2023 a little bit here with the food, with the plants. Were they taken out because they were icky? Yeah. Are we gonna see the food shortages and things that you know, the way they've hyped that up? No, we're going to see some things. We're going to survive it. We do need to start looking in our own neighborhood and start being more kind and loving and figure out ways to take care of our own, right? Sharing and caring. We get the sharing and caring card. We need to really start cleaning up our areas and helping people more. So we're gonna be asked to, like, the haves are gonna be asked to help the have-nots a little more than what's been going on. So, and then what else did we ask? We asked about the technology coming out, and we get some really good news about that. And then we're going to see some tribunals, and yeah, some stuff's going to happen for 2023. So kind of exciting. I hope that you guys all have the greatest New Year's Eve. I'm not big on celebrating, so we're just gonna make a nice little meal and just kind of hang out. That's probably when we're gonna listen to the rest of my Phil, the Phil live that he did the other night. Well, we got 45 minutes left to listen to that, so I'll probably finish listening to that tonight while we have a little dinner and just keep it mellow, because that's what we do. But anyways, I hope that you found some value in this reading. That's what I got anyways. Keep your vibrations high. Keep the faith. I think we got some pretty good information. And until next time, you guys, Happy New Year. Many, many blessings. Much, much love from me to all of you. Okay. Until next time, take care.